When I was appointed Chief Cardiology in 2001 at the Ghent University, I came from the outside. A young fellow came to me and, he tried to convince me to support a very ambitious project. I initially was reluctant to support that, and gradually I realized that at that moment in time this fellow already had networked with a very good network of primary care physicians, and that these extremely motivated primary care physicians were able to bring to us a representative sample of the population of twin cities, the cities of Erpenmeer in East Flanders in Belgium. And what they did, in a couple of years of time, we were able to have data on more than 2,500 subjects. In these subjects we have all classical parameters: length, weight, BMI, waist circumference. We have questionnaires. We have ECG, blood pressure measurements in triplicate, and then we have extensive echocardiography and extensive investigation of the arteries. For me, with a background in basic physiology, this was a unique occasion of having the possibility to expand concepts developed in the basic lab in the setting of an epidemiological study. And what was my personal goal to achieve in this study was to look carefully at the interaction between the arteries and the heart. In the course of the years, we got results from this Asklepios study, and these results came from different groups from the University of Ghent. The first group focused on the telomere length of the chromosomes. And what we found in this young population, 35 to 55 years old subjects, men and women, healthy people, we found that the length of the telomeres was not related to, let's say, the preclinical signs of atherosclerosis. These results were unexpected because people believed that the telomere length of the chromosomes and the telomerase would be an independent additional risk factor for atherosclerosis. What we showed is the opposite. In a way, the shortening of the telomere length is a proxy for the exposure to oxidative stress. This shed a new light on the value of telomere lengths of the chromosomes. We have engineers modeling, both mathematically and physically, modeling the arteries and modeling the interaction between the heart and the arteries. And Professor Segers and his team did a lot of work on data that we acquired on radial, brachial, carotid tonometry, and on the interaction with the heart. We were very happy in this venture to have the collaboration of US physicians. And I mentioned the collaboration with Martin St. John Sutton and mainly with Julio Chirinos from Pennsylvania University. These people worked on our data and worked out the interaction between the heart and the arteries. What they found is that the reflected waves induced an elevated end systolic wall stress, and that this situation of early and increased reflected waves was linked to diastolic dysfunction, was linked to maladaptive hypertrophy, and was linked to several measures of outcome. So this is an emerging and new cardiovascular risk factor. They can be applied because you can fairly easily measure these reflected waves, and this could add to improve the prognosis of all types of patient populations, mainly the elderly people. Well, it's premature to tell that, but what we know so far is that it was well validated in the younger Asklepios population, 35 to 55 years old, and in the elder MESA population, the US population, where we have outcome data. So all our outcome studies were performed in Pennsylvania and were done on the MESA cohort. After 10 years, we have a second measuring round, and this measuring round tries to look at the temporal changes in ventricular vascular interaction, and in addition, we have hand grip data in more than 2,000 subjects. And we presently are analyzing this hand grip data to really look non-invasively at hemodynamics. The next step will be to really stratify all this hand grip data and to integrate the hand grip data and the baseline data with the long-term follow-up of these subjects.